Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing well and that you've had a good 2 weeks since my last video. So the other day, me and a bunch of my classmates were trying to figure out where our next class was because we go in between lecture, which is a regular classroom, to the studio where we pretty much shoot our anchor tosses and do our VO reports and stuff like that. And then also our lab where we create our video content and we also edit. Yay! I came upon a box! It was a take me box, which means that everything in it was free. Like literally my favorite word on this planet, free, gratis. Here you go, here you go, take it all! I was like, what is all this funky stuff? And as you guys could tell by even the way that I dress, I really like colorful and eccentric things and things that are full of life. So instead of coming to class with just a regular notebook and pen, this huge piece of like, I don't even know, it's like pottery and it is just amazingness. I came into class and one person, they said the most touching thing. They said that if I was ever a piece of pottery, that I would look like this. Just, can we cut to commercial? Like, this piece of pottery explains my vibe, like, just really, like, abstract and, like, free-spirited and, like, loose and, like, childlike and, just in your face, bam! What? Nova's in the room. Like, I feel like this was an aura, like this is what my aura would look like. We will start off this video by talking about our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our 5 senses. What? Awesome. Alright, what are they? This is like elementary school. Alright, they are touch. They are smell. They are sight. They are hearing. Wait, how many did I say? They are tasting. I have reached personally a lot of, this sounds like really cheesy and corny, but like literal high off of life moments. And I reach them very often where like I just find this euphoria and happiness and inner peace within myself that it sometimes could even move me so much that I could actually cry from happiness. What I like to do is focus on the present moment, and so when we're running around and we're busy and we never really have time to symbolically smell the roses, that is when you start to feel burnt out and you start to feel less connected with yourself. Start to feel as sometimes you need a vacation from your life or you need to get away and you need to like escape. But you see, that's the thing, is happiness isn't a destination. It's little moments of everyday life that add up, that make you grateful and appreciative to be alive. A lot of things that are relative to nature could help you bring that sort of satisfaction. But it could also be little things. Like the other day, I was actually at my internship at the Discovery Channel. And as an intersectional feminist, I literally looked around me and there were women who have won Emmys and are nominated for all these amazing projects, and they brought their kids to work with them. And I just thought, wow, what a beautiful historical impact of how far we've come, that a woman can win an Emmy and bring her child to work. And that is, I literally, like, I almost got like tears of happiness at work, but you know, people think it's always sadness. I was like, all right, don't let them tears flow because they gonna think you cray girl, all right. I went on a walk and I just heard the birds chirping and I don't know, it was just so overwhelmingly beautiful. An exercise that really helps me to get into my present moment could be a meditation exercise that you guys could try. And it's pretty much a 5-minute exercise. However, let's say if you're not still feeling in tune with your body and yourself, you could try to double it, for instance, for 10 minutes. So for each of your 5 senses, spend 1 minute or 2 minutes each focusing on just that one sense. So out of those 10 minutes, 2 minutes, spend it on what you see. Look at all your surroundings and look at also things that maybe you wouldn't normally notice. So for instance, if you walk along the same street every single day, try to pick up one thing that you've never noticed before. It could be a crack on the floor. It could be a center where there is an ant farm underground in the soil. It could honestly be anything. But the purpose of this is to always show that the world around us is constantly changing. So hearing, that could be a more overall sense where you're maybe listening to new music or you're hearing somebody out that you haven't necessarily had a conversation with before. So for instance, I've gone to the same bodega now for about 12 years. Instead of just the regular like thank you and I'm on my merry way, I talked to the man who has pretty much been providing my purchases for the last decade, and he is from Bangladesh, and he actually told me about his passions outside of the bodega and what he's working on. So for instance, he wants to become a music producer. For instance, taste. It doesn't necessarily have to be a new food, but it could be, for instance, if you want to step out of your comfort zone and you want to try a spicy food, which you've never done before because you're a little scared. Or for instance, it could be that you're on a hike and you try a plant directly from the ground. Make sure that it's not poisonous, but I've done this numerous times at camp. When it comes to touch, really appreciate, for instance, what you're wearing, what kind of fabric it is. Your favorite sweater, for instance, the way it holds you, the way it feels warm on you. In nature, really dig your nails in the ground. Even if a worm comes out, just feel it in your hand so that you have this almost physical grip on your external world. Get your fingers dirty, or it could be building something. So you're really playing around with the clay. You're taking time to really craft. So practice something that's overall labor oriented so that you could practice your kinetic energy. And to go off into a tangent, some people are kinetic learners. So through these 5 senses, you'll also recognize what kind of learner you are. So I learn visually, and I learn kinetically. So I'm very hands-on. I like to do it step by step. Drawings definitely help me. And through these 5 senses, you could definitely see what kind of learner you are, and that could even help you in the future. Smelling. Now, I know I live in New York City, so some corners could be a little funky, but the purpose of this exercise is to really get out of your element and maybe smell things that you haven't really given too much thought to. For example, if you're at the beach, take time to smell the sand. Aromatherapy could even help with this. It's another form of meditation. The more that you practice this appreciation for small things in ordinary life, the more you understand that happiness doesn't come from an achievement or a destination that you go to. It comes from really your mindset, and it comes from your perspective. And I think that happiness is pretty much a little buildup of small things instead of one big milestone over like 5 years or 2 years or even 5 months. When you observe and you take time to notice your atmosphere and your environment around you, you have a deeper sense of gratefulness. Also feel more alive, and you feel more aware, and you feel more in the present tense. Now when you're walking down the street, it could be suggested that instead of listening to your iPod, that you've listened to the same soundtrack on the same way home every single day. Try something new. Take off your headphones and listen to the birds. Or if it's really windy outside, listen to how the wind hits the trees. Or if you usually take the train, try to take a walk there instead. It may be 3 train stops, but you might discover a new store along the way. Or you might discover a new park that you could now swing in. So it's all a form of learning about new opportunities and noticing them by taking the time out of your daily schedule to do new things. An important thing that I want to focus on is meditation, because I know through a lot of these self-help and self-love guides, they're always preaching meditation. Now look, I'm all for meditation. You could sit all day long, and like feeling centered and feeling good. But you know what? That may not be the path for all people. And that does not mean that you're doing something wrong or that you can't get still and calm. So for instance, having a background in theater and in modern dance, I find that I could reach euphoria and happiness and moments of just, to be honest, blissful joyfulness just through doing these sort of crafts or these sort of arts that bring me to a state of trance. Now, what I mean by trance for me is a synonym for meditation. I invite you guys to find out what your trance is, what you could be alone in your head in, and you could be so peaceful and happy with. And it's a raw emotion. For instance, sometimes I get creative insomnia because I get so caught up in my creative directing, and I see the choreography that I want to do, and I see the way that I want the words to flow on the page, or for instance, I see the way that I want the light to be hit, or I see the edits in my head, and I see where I want to do the clippings, and I see where I want to, for instance, add an effect. So that's my trance. So your trance might be taking a walk to the park, or it might be swinging, which is another form of meditation that I love to do. For others, it could be pottery. Another form of trance could be writing poetry or painting. And I'm saying all of these hobbies that have a calm and tranquil kind of vibe to them. Something that makes you feel mindfulness and experience calmness is definitely a form of meditation. Meditation isn't just sitting cross-legged, and if you can't do that, and if you can't have your mind be blank for that hour in class, then you're doing something wrong. That's not what it's about. It's just about having a hobby where it's just you by yourself in the raw, and you could get yourself to be happy all on your own, just based off of a hobby that gives you passion. Personally, I could edit for hours on Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere and After Effects, and I could feel completely calm and tranquil. And while other people may not think that staring at a computer can provide this form of meditation, it can. So it's all an individualized process, and it's all about what you find works for you. I hope you guys learned something from my video and that it was helpful in your process. So I hope that you guys find some mindful thinking and positivity these next 2 weeks till my next video. And if you haven't yet, please check out my website at novabymonty.com, and please subscribe to this channel at OMGITSNOVA. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and all the support, and much love.